प्रभु तव पदायुगे मोरा निवेदना नाही मागी देह सुख विद्याधन जाना नाही मागी स्वर्ग मोक्ष नाही मागी मोक्ष नाही मागी नाही करी प्रार्थना कोनो विभूतिर लागी निज कर्म गुना दोषे जे जे जन्म पाई दोषे जन्म जन्म जेनो तव नाम गुण गाई এই মাত্র আশা মামা তোমারা চরণে बहु की भक्ति जागे माता प्रीति चरणे श्रीपदे संपदे पशु पाखी होए थाकी स्वर्गे वाणी सब भक्ति राहु भक्ति विनोदा बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजना यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी श्री श्री राधा माधव की श्री श्री जगन्नाथ बलदेव सुंदरा मैया की श्री श्री गौर निताय की जगत गुरु शिला प्रभुपाद की श्री नाम संकीर्तन की स्वान भिवंडी भक्त वृंद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So as we are reading from Srila Prabhupada Leela Amrit, we will chant prayers now and then we will start reading from Srila Prabhupada Leela Amrit on this auspicious occasion of which Ekadashi is today? Param Ekadashi of Purushottam month. ओम अज्ञानातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश श्रीरूपां सागरजातां सहगना रघुनाथामृतं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिधि नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरतुषे नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेशा गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी विज्वानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये जय स्वांछाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा। So today on the occasion of Paramakadashi in Purushottam month, we all will be reading from Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. So last time also I had the good fortune to read Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit on the Ekadashi, and again today that opportunity has come. So last time I was reading from volume 6, chapter 50. Anybody remembers the name? The lame man and the blind man. Chapter 50. So I'll continue from there only where I stopped last time. Prabhupada wanted to first visit his Los Angeles center, now a large, thriving community of devotees. He would see their new temple room with its marble arches and gallery of gorgeous transcendental paintings and observe the opulent worship of the deities. Who were the deities in LA temple? Rukmini Dwarkadhish. He would see the latest technological applications of Krishna consciousness at Golden Avatar Recording Studios and at the Fate Museum, which utilized multimedia dioramas to depict the teachings of Bhagavad Gita. He would sit in his garden and hear Krishna book and walk on his Venice beach discussing scientific theories with whom? Prabhupada would discuss scientific theories with Dr. Swarup Damodar. And of course, he would increase the already swelling waves of book distribution. You all have to choose for what ISKCON should be known to the world. In Prabhupada time, ISKCON was known to the world for Harinam Sankirtan, book distribution. People who are little fanatics move in the robes on the road, dancing, chanting like mad people. Stop everyone in the airport to give them books. That's why it was known, Hare Krishna. Now it is known as people who are motivational speakers. So you have to choose what should be the identity of ISKCON, how people should ISKCON, how people should look at the ISKCON. As those guys who are just walking on the street, chanting, dancing and distributing their literature, Bhagavad Gita, fanatic about this. So it increased the already swelling waves of book distribution. One day in the car he had said, my books will be the law books for human society for the next how many years? 10,000 years. It's a statement by Prabhupada. My books will be the law books for next 10,000 years. That's why we all should very, very carefully read Srila Prabhupada books. Then in Detroit, he would stay for a few days in the mansion he had purchased over a year ago to see how the devotees were taking care of the fabulous gift Krishna had given them and to advise them on how to use it as a showpiece of Krishna consciousness. For himself, Prabhupada was not interested in living in a mansion, and constant travelling proved difficult regardless of where he stayed. The mansions, the opulences, the American money and expertise were all for Krishna's pleasure. We all know how the Detroit temple came. Prabhupada wanted to get this Detroit temple. He went with disciples and they saw a mansion which was around 250 and, am I right, $250 million? It was a huge amount. And the agent showed the whole building, and Prabhupada said, "We are beggars, give us for free." And he said, "What is this, Swamiji?" After looking everything. And then he asked for some $350 or $400 million. That's a huge amount. And then Prabhupada finally said him immediately $250 million. And then there was Ambarish Prabhu. Prabhupada told him to sponsor it along with one more lady. I don't forgot her name. They were both millionaires, billionaires. So Ambarish Prabhu and another lady, Prabhupada disciple, both of them together contributed some funds and purchased this whole mansion. And that mansion became a temple. So this is a very interesting thing. When you want to serve Krishna, Krishna sends very sincerely service. If you want to sincerely serve Krishna, Krishna will send all the opportunities, and then he will see how nicely you use those opportunities. And again, when he sees that you are able to use, then he will see more opportunities. But when he sees that he is not able to use, then he will take away also everything. So that's why Krishna will send, he will see our capacity to use it. Like one time Prabhupada said to Tamal Krishna Swami Maharaj, Krishna can send you whole money of the world, but what you will do with that? Suppose suddenly Krishna gives you 1,000 crore, what you will do with that? Because we may get money, but if you want to use it without association of devotees, we may get into Maya. Or we may think, okay, I'll make another TOVP, but there are cheaters who will come and cheat and take away all the money. So Krishna can give, but what you will do with that? So, from Detroit, Prabhupada would go to Toronto, where a year ago he had encouraged the devotees and the Indian community to purchase a big church in the city. Big church in the city. Now in recent months, they had actually purchased it. And they were awaiting Prabhupada's arrival. So please raise funds. We all together can go to all these places and see which all buildings were purchased by Prabhupada in Toronto and Detroit. You can go on the world tour and visit all these temples which were started directly by Srila Prabhupada, which were actually churches or mansions, whatever. He would also travel to New Vrindavan, where for 2 years the devotees had been anxiously awaiting his return. They wanted him to sit on the grand new Vyasasana they had carved for him to behold the deities of, who were the deities in New Vrindavan? RVC, Radha Vrindavan Chandra. To behold the deities of Radha Vrindavan Chandra and to grace the palace they were building for him. And they wanted to see him again with his dear disciple Kirtanand Swami. He would drink the milk of the New Vrindavan cows and teach about Varnashram Dharma. He would praise the simple life and blast away at the follies of urbanized, industrialized civilization. So that was Prabhupada's plan in New Vrindavan, where was Radha Vrindavan Chandra deities. For the 4th of July 1976, the bicentennial anniversary of the United States independence, Srila Prabhupada would be at the ISKCON temple in Washington, D.C., where he would hold kirtan at the monuments before millions of people, and on July 6th in Washington, he would observe the 10th anniversary of the formation of ISKCON. ISKCON was formed on July 6, 1966. So now it is 10 years, Prabhupada is going to observe the anniversary, 10th anniversary. Then he would go to the New York for that city's first full-scale Rath Yatra. He would stay in the newly acquired ISKCON skyscraper, the 12-story building in the Midtown Manhattan. They had purchased a 12-story building in Manhattan and they had made it a temple, 12-story skyscraper building, 12-story. In India, we don't have till now 12-story building. The one we have in Juhu is 7-story. So they purchased 12-story building. They made it into a temple. 500 Western devotees will stay in that. In due course of time, due to the mismanagement or will of providence or whatever, the building was again lost from the ISKCON. They had to sell it. But at Prabhupada time, there is a photo of also Srila Prabhupada sitting on a chair in the roof of that building. with his disciples. Yeah. Srila Prabhupada sometimes said his greatest fear was that his disciples would fight with one another, causing serious splits in his movement. Therefore, he travelled using his great influence to unite all elements. He had seen how even those to whom he had given great responsibility could again become victims of sense gratification. But he had also seen how his being with his disciples strengthened them. So in future, when you all become leaders, it is so important to travel and encourage your followers, because the effect of Maya is very, very strong and it will victimize. We may think I am strong, but Maya is much more stronger. And presence of senior devotees keeps everyone humble and pacified. He was declaring humanity's independence on God, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and making a forceful revolution against the prevailing decadence of the day. Although America, in her 200th anniversary, was abandoning her God consciousness, Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON was fresh and vital, instilling pure God consciousness in America and everywhere. So that was Prabhupada's desire, forceful revolution, not very simple. Prabhupada said, when you are out, be like a lamb, and inside be like a lion. No? Am I wrong or right? Be like a lamb outside and lion inside. Isn't it? Then how it is? Be a lamb with devotees. With the devotees you are so humble, like a lamb, and outside like a lion. So Prabhupada wanted a forceful revolution. Forceful revolution. It was not, we have not even actually experienced revolution. Who have experienced revolution last was like people during the independence time. When they would see everywhere there's a fire that we want independence, and everywhere. And I told you one time also that my grandmother, Nani, she was saying that in her village one person was there and he would just keep on making slogan, Swarajya chahiye and Azadi chahiye, and there was no one. And they would all think this is a mad fellow, why is asking, shouting, yelling. Again, and there are no Britishers there, and they would appreciate, they would call it Raj Sarkar, British rule. And they would appreciate it because it was very well managed. It was very well managed. And this guy would just hang around with the Jhanda, we want Swaraj, we want Swaraj. However, anyways, they got independence later on. India got independence later on. And this guy was even given pension for making these slogans. He got pension and his son got a job in Indian government job because he would make slogans for getting. So similarly in ISKCON, even if you don't do anything, just stand with devotees and chant and clap. Even if you don't sell book, keep 4 books in your hand and Krishna will say, okay, he's doing something, he will take you back to Godhead mostly. So Srila Prabhupada's ISKCON was fresh and vital, instilling pure God consciousness in America and everywhere. The cover of the latest issue of Back to Godhead, which Prabhupada liked, depicted a devotee singing Hare Krishna in front of a red, white and blue bicentennial exhibit. The cover caption read, declaring our dependence on God. So it was so relevant. The devotee's image was in front of their America. It was bicentennial, means 200th independence. 200th independence ceremony. So it is called bicentennial, and they had there some red, white, blue exhibit of bicentennial independence, and devotees stood before it. They made it as a cover page of Back to Godhead with the title, Declaring Our Dependence on God. So Prabhupada liked it. Now we don't see any more Back to Godhead so active, but in Prabhupada time Back to Godhead was very, very famous, very active. Actually we should distribute Back to Godhead magazines along with books. Prabhupada had complete confidence in the eventual victory of Lord Chaitanya's Sankirtan movement. Although now 80 years strongest devotee, wherever he travelled, he brought life and strength, and so he continued. Prabhupada was 80-year-old. We all are 1/4 or 1/3 of that. 1/4 or 1/3. He was 80 years old, and when he was doing that, just imagine how much more we all have to do. New York City, July 9, 1976. Jayanand was driving the car. Tamal Krishna Goswami and Rameshwar Swami were also there. They had picked up Srila Prabhupada and Hari Sauri at LaGuardia Airport, and as they proceeded toward Manhattan, Prabhupada asked, "Things are going on here nicely?" Tamal Krishna replied that everything had really just begun. "You will see that all the work is just in progress," he said. "Yes," said Srila Prabhupada. "Manage nicely. Krishna is giving us everything. There is no scarcity. If we simply, sincerely work, Krishna will give us intelligence, everything. By His mercy, everything is available. That is Krishna. He can give you anything. The only requirement is work sincerely. If you just sincerely work, Krishna will give you everything and anything." As their car approached the colossal Brooklyn Bridge, you know, the famous Brooklyn Bridge. It's a very famous bridge, pillarless bridge, made by a father and son. Very famous, just like we have Howrah Bridge, famous in Kolkata. Similarly, this Brooklyn Bridge is there. Srila Prabhupada inquired, "That is Brooklyn Bridge, I think. Sometimes I was coming here and sitting down near the bridge." "Near the water?" asked Tamal Krishna. They were fascinated to hear of Srila Prabhupada's early activities alone in New York. "You were sitting here near the water?" "Yes, that river," said Prabhupada. "Because I was on that Bowery Street, it is not very far away. So I was coming, walking there and sitting under the bridge and thinking, when I shall return to India." He laughed. He asked about other places, almost like inquiring about old friends, the Fulton Street subway station and Chambers Street. Tamal Krishna told Prabhupada that the ISKCON center was not far from the Empire State Building and that he would be able to get a nice view of it from his room on the 11th floor. "Our building," said Tamal Krishna, "is right in the midst of the theater, restaurant and entertainment section of the city." That's what the place of the Manhattan Temple, right in the between of the theater, restaurant and entertainment section of the city. "In New York," said Prabhupada, "I feel a little at home because first I came here. I was loitering on the street here and there. From 1965 September to July 1967, continually I stayed in New York." Tamal Krishna Maharaj gave a class this morning, said Rameshwar Swami. He was explaining that we cannot understand the good fortune of the city that you have come here. Similarly, no one knows the good fortune of Bhiwandi city as you all have come here. "Yes, when I decided that I shall go to a foreign country," said Prabhupada, "I never thought of going to London. I thought of coming here. Generally they go to London, but I thought, no, I shall go to New York." "Very progressive," Tamal Krishna commented. "I do not know," Prabhupada laughed. "It is Krishna's dictation. I could have gone London. London was nearer, but I thought, no, I shall go to New York. Sometimes I was even dreaming that I had gone to New York." Can you imagine how much Prabhupada was meditating on being in New York or preaching? I don't know how many of us get such dreams that I am in the most crowded Muslim area of Bhiwandi and doing Harinam. Or I don't know, some of you may be getting in dreams Prabhupada or Prabhupada's desire of spreading Krishna consciousness. Or you may be getting in the dream that is a bus full of Bhagavad Gita and one person came and he just read Gita and took 500 from him. Or you may be getting a dream that you are making people from all kinds of religion chant Hare Krishna. Or you may be getting some other dreams. I don't know what kind of dreams are coming. But we see Prabhupada was getting a dream that he had gone to New York. So much passion was there for spreading Krishna consciousness. It was passion out of devotion. So I saw examples of passion among the people. On last Saturday I had gone with Sitaram Prabhu to Mumbai. So we went to Prabhupada. Sitaram Prabhu wanted to make a moving office along with the bus so that we can continue our seminars, our online preaching activities, our online fundraising activities, which is difficult to do in the current bus because of no such sitting facility. So we went to one company. The name of the company is Executive Motor Car Trend. So we went there to speak to them and discuss about making a motor office. So we are purchasing a new Force vehicle and we'll make an office into it. Hari Bol. Which will travel with our bus and car. Office. Moving office. So we went to one building and I could never expect that this person makes car here because the person's father has a business of dyeing jeans. You know, jeans, they dye jeans. So I saw everywhere only jeans are there, and we met the son. The son studied in London and he has a passion of modifying cars. And in his office also everywhere jeans are lying there. So I was thinking, what is this? He is the one who does motor car renovation and everywhere only jeans and clothes and shirt is there. So we had a discussion and he told, this is my passion. To modify cars and make it super luxury is my passion. So then Sitaram told him, please, can you show? He told them, show him in your workshop. So he went ground floor only jeans is everywhere, second floor only jeans, third floor only jeans, only related things related to jeans, that jeans. Then he went to the fourth floor. The fourth floor is a workshop, the cars are there and modifying cars into, like the Honda Accord he modified into a Ferrari. So like that, he does all his modification on the fourth floor of his tower. From outside we cannot see also. So that is his passion, to modify cars, and he wants to make so many interesting, luxurious motor homes. Although there is not much demand in India, but that is his passion. So, although the father has a whole business of just dyeing jeans, but he has a passion of modifying cars. Similarly, then we went, Sitaram wanted to again get a bow and arrow for Gurukul, Mayapur Gurukul. So he went to one shop, he called in one industrial estate. So he went to industrial estate, then he called inside one building on the first floor. And I could not see that if you are selling some sports thing, it has to be nice, beautiful, display of the sport items. So we went there and then he told us to come into one shop. Everywhere it was all furniture. Everywhere only furniture and making like MDF, making ply and everything like that. So big room and only furniture. So where is bow and arrow here? This guy is calling here for bow and arrow. And then he calls on a mezzanine floor. Mezzanine floor. Mezzanine floor? Like this is a big room and in that we can make one false floor so that it becomes mezzanine floor. Like like this on the middle. So people can be down also, people can be up also because there is so much of height. So he had made a mezzanine floor. So some or other we climbed on the mezzanine floor and there he was sitting, and because it is ceiling, so there was a column also, like this is a column. So column was also there, and when we were talking, he was on that side of column, we were on this side of the column, and in between half of the face column was there. So with lower face we were talking to him. And then there in a small almirah, he has got all the bow and arrows. And he said, this is my passion, This is not for my business, is all this MDF ply and everything. But this is my passion. And I don't sell. I only give it to people who are interested in. So then it took out bow and arrow, and then he had made his then he showed us that in his godown he had put one big foam sheet in one corner, and whenever he wants to practice bow and arrow, he tells all his employees to go out. And so whole across the store, from this corner he will stand with his bow and arrow, and that corner is the foam sheets, and he will keep on shooting. Powerful bow and arrow. He showed his one bow and arrow by which in the opposite shop there's an iron shutter. He drilled through the iron shutter with the arrow. Such powerful arrows he had. He shot from here and he missed it. So he drilled in the iron shutter on the opposite shop. So is a passion for bow and arrow. So rich, no need to worry about money. So they could pursue their passion because of their richness. Similarly, now in Krishna consciousness, we have got so much of wonderful facilities. And as we have heard Prabhupada quoting, I didn't see Prabhupada speaking, but Prabhupada must have spoken. Sitaram quotes, the sky is the limit. If you want to do book distribution, you want to do fundraising, how much? There is no limit. You can have 10 trucks and it will get over. You don't want to do Harinam, so many cities in the India. One life is less. And if you go outside India, so many cities. And so many people who can ask donation. And so many boys whom you can preach. So sky is the limit. There is no limit. So Prabhupada was dreaming to go to New York. And what are we dreaming? So we have to contemplate on that. What are my dreams? What is my dream? My dream, when I will get into New Bhaktan path and get freed from that torture, or will I join? What kind of dreams we are having? We have to think. And what kind of dreams? Prabhupada was having. Prabhupada was dreaming, he is going to New York and preaching. And what is our dream? When I will complete my graduation, go my home, do something. Small, petty dreams. And Prabhupada had a dream sitting in Vrindavan to go to New York to preach Krishna consciousness. Passion with devotion. Nobody can do such thing until he doesn't have that passion. But certainly it was not mode of passion, but it was completely out of devotion. So even Prabhupada, young disciples could not catch him. Young disciples could not catch his speed, his desire, his determination. So next time when you dream something, when you get up from that dream, you remember Prabhupada was dreaming to going to New York and preach. I don't know how many of you are dreaming when bus will start. Such my dreaming, yeah. Those never comes in there. I don't get all such dreams. I am struggling with my dreams. As they passed through various neighborhoods, Srila Prabhupada recalled the old days. He mentioned Dr. Mishra's yoga studio and his room at 172nd Street, where his tape recorder and typewriter had been stolen. The West End Supret, where he would buy fruits. Sometimes I think I was coming to this part, Srila Prabhupada and said Prabhupada looking out the window, aimlessly, yes, sometimes walking on the 2nd Avenue. Acknowledging his senior disciples who was steadily and silently driving the car, Prabhupada said, our Jayananda was driving a taxi and chanting Hare Krishna. And one day he brought me $5,000. It was given for the publishing of Bhagavad Gita. But I think Macmillan took it. So Prabhupada acknowledged the first donation to print his book was given by Jayanand Prabhu. Jayanand Prabhu whole day would serve in the temple and whole night he would drive taxi to get money from the temple. That was those days that they had no option. If you want temple to survive, in the daytime work for temple, and now you need money, who in America will give money? And those days there was no book when Bhagavad Gita was not there. There was no Bhagavad Gita that you can sell it and get donation, No books also. So he had to overnight drive taxi and raise money by driving taxi so that in the daytime they can use it for spreading Krishna consciousness. He saved $5,000 driving taxi and he gave to Prabhupada so that Prabhupada could print his first Bhagavad Gita. And as Prabhupada says, it was given to Macmillan for printing his Bhagavad Gita. What an amazing contribution, So in that way, we have to be ready to do anything and everything to spread Krishna consciousness. Later on, Jayanand Prabhu played a very instrumental role in starting the Rath Yatra. And later on, he left his life because of the cancer. But to whatever time he lived, he made a very, very strong impression in the heart of the devotees, in the heart of Prabhupada. So much so, Prabhupada ordered whenever there is Rath Yatra, put the photo of Jayananda Prabhu on the Rath. because he started Rath Yatra in ISKCON. So you all can think of it doing something instrumental for ISKCON. So you also have eternal fame in the ISKCON. Just like Indra Prabhu, he started 24-hour Harinam Sankirtan in Vrindavan, and he did it single-handedly, wholeheartedly. Amazing, so much of effort, so much of struggle, with all trouble. He thought Prabhupada wants 24-hour Harinam, so he started it and faced all the troubles for it. When he left his body, he has got his eternal fame in Krishna Balram temple. His name is engraved on the pillar as Nam Samadhi for starting 24-hour Harinam Sankirtan in ISKCON Vrindavan. So in the similar way, must be great passion, no? A passion which is because of devotion. Somebody chanting 20 hours a day because Prabhupada wants 24-hour Harinam in ISKCON Vrindavan. So, gentlemen, think of taking some passion with devotion, not only passion but with devotion for Prabhupada. Then you put him in charge to sell all the teachings of Lord Chaitanya, said Tamal Krishna. I remember. So it is about Jnanand Prabhu. He was put in charge to sell this book, Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. Nice car. Right now we have eco, nobody likes it. He was chanting and driving. Jnanand Prabhu was so much soaked. Those who are driving here, remember if you are chanting or driving or only driving? Chanting and driving. Now our speaker is chanting, we are only driving. And people outside who are hearing that, they are chanting. Inside people, they are doing something else. He said, you have a nice car. Said Tamal Krishna, that's good, they like the car. Prabhupada laughed. Asked him, why don't you come here? Why are you driving a taxi? Come join us. This car is the Ford company's version of a Cadillac, said Rameshwar. They cannot understand because we say we are not after material opulence for ourselves. They cannot understand why we drive in these cars. They think that we unnecessarily criticize, said Prabhupada. But we require everything. Just like when a man, when he is alive, his decoration, his nice dress, everything is good. But if he is dead, then it is useless. Similarly, without spiritual consciousness, we are dead. Because the body is dead. Only because the spirit soul is there, therefore it is moving. The important point is the spirit soul. So if you are simply taking care of the body nicely, that means you are decorating the dead body. What is the value of it? Is it clear? The body is important because the soul is there. So long the life is there, if you decorate the body, everyone will appreciate. But if you decorate the dead body, everyone will say, what a fool he is. Similarly, without spiritual knowledge, this dead civilization, simply on the bodily concept of life, is ludicrous, that we have to condemn. Take Krishna consciousness, then everything has a value. Just like 1, if there is a 0, then it becomes 10. And another 0, it becomes 100. And without that 1, it is simply 0. It is only useless. That 1 is Krishna, said Tamal Krishna. And Krishna's representative, added Rameshwar. As they drove down the 55th street, the devotees pointed out to Prabhupada the ISKCON building with the words Hare Krishna written in gold letters down the side. A large yellow banner showing a devotee of Lord Chaitanya performing Sankirtan flew from the front of the building, and a stylish awning emblazoned Hare Krishna Center extended onto the sidewalk. At the sight of Prabhupada's cars, hundreds of devotees at the entrance began to cheer and chant his name. It was the greatest gathering of ISKCON devotees since the Mayapur festival. Many had come from distant places. This is Bhakta Monish from Ulhasnagar. Many had come from distant places to be with Srila Prabhupada. And more than 600 devotees were staying in the building. Can you imagine 600 devotees staying in a 12-story building? 600 devotees staying in 12. The kirtan was tumultuous. Standing before the deities of Radha Govinda, Prabhupada appeared pleased. A picture of the Lord Jagannath, Balram and Subhadra was on the third altar, and Prabhupada said he was anxious to see them on the Rath Yatra day. As Prabhupada sat on the large green Vyasasan, he was at first too moved with emotion to speak. Can you imagine? At 1966-67, in same New York, there was nothing. And after 10 years in same New York, a 12-storied building with 600 American Western disciples, and they are going to have the Rath Yatra. As Prabhupada sat on the large green Vyasasan, he was at first too moved with emotion to speak. First of all, I must thank you all for bringing me in the new temple, he began. Because when I first came, my ambition was to start a temple here in the New York, and I was seeking the opportunity. He described some of his first almost helpless attempts to buy a 25 by 100 foot space in Manhattan, but he had been unable to get any money. I had no place, he said. Want to speak of a temple? I had no residential place even. So in that condition, I was thinking of returning to India. Practically every week I was going to the shipping company. So it is a long history that I came here with determination to start a temple in New York first. But at that time, 10 years before, in 1965, it was not possible. But by the grace of Krishna and by the grace of my Guru Maharaj, you have got this place. So I must thank you very much for organizing this temple. Later in the lecture, Prabhupada stressed how Guru and Krishna were saving the conditioned souls from eternal suffering in the material world. Don't lose this opportunity, he said. Don't be foolish, misled by so-called scientists, philosophers or politicians. Take to Krishna consciousness, and that is possible only by Guru Krishna Kripaya. By the mercy of Guru and by the mercy of Krishna, you can achieve all success. This is the secret. This is the secret. By mercy of Guru and by mercy of Krishna, you can achieve all success. So whenever you are discouraged in your spiritual life, you read Leela Amrit, you will be happy. When you read Leela Amrit, we will feel that our problems are like insignificant. Our problems are insignificant when we read Leela Amrit. No problems. See what problem Prabhupada went through at the age of 70. No property in New York. Some or other he was maintaining himself. Every week he was going to the shipping company, finding out when is the next ship to go back to India. By Krishna's grace, he got everything later on. So if you just stick to Krishna consciousness, sincerely practice, face all the troubles, face all the oppositions, then ultimately you will become successful. Ultimately you will be very, very successful in Krishna consciousness. आइए दर्शन के लिए आइए. So ultimately you all will become very, very successful in Krishna consciousness. So these are the glorious Leela of our Acharya Srila Prabhupada. I had no place, what to speak of a temple. I had no residential place even. So in that condition, I was thinking of returning to India. I read this already? Yeah. Yasya deve para bhakti yatha deve tatha guru tasyati kathya prakashante mahatmana. So the Guru Puja we are doing, it is not self-aggrandizement. It is real teaching. You sing daily, Guru Mukhe Vakya Chitte Te Koriya Akhya. What is the meaning, Naveen Prabhu? Somebody else, what is the meaning? Guru Mukhe Vakya Chitte Te Koriya Akhya. Shubhankar Prabhu, please explain the meaning of this line. Yeah, whatever Guru says, गुरु मुख वाक्य, जो भी गुरु बोलते हैं, जो भी गुरु से मुख से निकलता है, उसको हमको अपने चित्त में ले लेना चाहिए. यही मेरा जीवन है. I tell you frankly, now Prabhupada says, I tell you frankly, whatever little success is there in this Krishna consciousness movement, I simply believed what was spoken by my Guru Maharaj. You also continue that. Then every success will come. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada then toured this entire 12-story building. He spoke little, but approved of almost everything he saw. His disciples seemed to be managing things properly on his behalf. His quarters were well appointed, with separate rooms for sitting and resting. So I shall again stay in New York, he asked as he sat at his desk. Adi Kesar Swami, the temple president, said, "This is your triumphant return, Srila Prabhupada." "Yes," Prabhupada replied, "this is my sentiment." Devotees were eager to point out the features of the rooms, the view of the window, and the relative quiet. It's very peaceful for translating work, said Rameswar Swami. "Oh yes," said Srila Prabhupada. "When my Guru Maharaj left, I was alone. So he has sent me so many gurus to take care of me. You are my Guru Maharaj representative. We are Guru Das," a devotee said. "So you are taking care," said Prabhupada, "and I am very much obliged to you. I sometimes think of my childhood. I was very, very pet son of my father. I had admitted that in the book. My father was not a very rich man, but still, whatever I wanted, he would give me. He never chased me many fathers to love me. In that way, I am fortunate. At the last stage, if I live peacefully, this is the greatest mercy of Krishna. By Krishna's mercy, everything is possible. So we shall stick to Krishna's lotus feet, then everything is possible. Stick to Krishna's lotus feet and then everything is possible. You see, Prabhupada says that everyone loved me, my father loved me, my friends loved me, and now I have come to America and you all are loving me. Krishna sent me so many people to love. This is Prabhupada's humility and glory, that he is only seeing Krishna's blessing. When we read Prabhupada's life, we see so much of struggle, so much of dejection, so much of rejection from Gaudiya Math, rejection from American hippies, attack by David. Prabhupada's plan of making the League of Devotees in Jhansi was fully shattered, typewriter stolen, voice recorder stolen, wife sold the manuscript, children not interested in Krishna consciousness, workers, fire in the factory, workers stole everything and ran away. Prabhupada is not remembering those things. All this trouble which came, Prabhupada is not counting on them. What he is remembering? My father was so much loving to me, my friends were like that, and now Krishna has sent me all of you who are loving me so much. So that's how we should also see our life. So many problems will come. It depends on us. We hang on those problems and cry, or we remember the blessings which Krishna has sent to us. We remember those blessings and meditate on those blessings which Krishna has given us and go on thanking Krishna for the blessings rather than crying for the problems. We have to choose. Prabhupada had both options. Prabhupada could have said, "Oh yeah, I struggled so much and I was in so much of problem, and this hippie attacked on me and this happened and I got 2 heart attacks." But he would not remember those things much. He would remember the good ones, the blessings. So that's how we should also live our life, remembering the blessing which Krishna has sent us. There may be a lot of problems, lot of struggle, lot of inconveniences. But along with that, there are so many good days, good friends, sometimes good prasadam, sometimes good yatras. We can remember, we can count on those blessings and happily go on in our Krishna consciousness. Ultimately, this world is a miserable world, not fit for gentlemen. So we have to manage. Hare Krishna. Any questions, comments, realizations? Prashna, Uttar? Bhava Prabhu will share something. बोलिए.
Very nicely in such a way that I didn't
Thanks to all devotees. So similarly, thanks to all devotees because of which Bhiwandi Center is going on. Hare Krishna. Any other comments, questions, realizations you want to share? So we welcome Monish Prabhu to ISKCON Bhiwandi by loudly chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srila Prabhupada Leela Amrit ki. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.